So Steam is issuing refunds now to kind of... not much fanfare yesterday when they announced it. Well, they didn't announce it, but they officially started it yesterday. But so yeah, you can apparently get refunds now for your game downloads and DLC.
For any reason.
Yeah.
It's weird that this didn't end up being very big of a deal. But I imagine part of that is people who use Steam a lot know how bad their customer service is.
Oh, yeah.
So getting the refunds will probably end up being a challenge. If I don't know what kind of system they're putting in place for it or how it's going to work out. It might be great, but
hopefully
Steam customers have gone a very long time without needing refunds. So
that's true.
Well, the policy, as I've read it, is you have if for any reason you don't like the game within 14 days, you can return it. But the caveat is you can only have played it for up to 2 hours. So that kind of sucks. But I understand that, I mean, if you sit there and play a game for 10 hours and you're like, oh, I just finished the game, I don't want it anymore.
That's like eating, like, an entire steak dinner and then trying to, return that little
but that actually
chunk
happens.
At the end. I know, it's sad.
I was disappointed with the steak.
But I ate, like, most of it.
You had a 100% satisfaction guaranteed. I was satisfied right up until this
point. About 97%.
I don't know, 99.9999.
I don't know. 2 hours does seem a little brief. Like,
it's a fair amount. I mean, that's enough time for most games to see.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but if you take something like a massive RPG, like a Skyrim,
or like an MMO, even,
you can't really get a clear idea of how those games go in 2 hours.
Yeah. But then again, if you're dropping $50-$60 on a game, you generally probably know what to expect. Is that fair to say? I mean,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
If I'm going to drop $60 on a game, you can damn well be sure that I've researched it.
Want to research it, yeah. I mean, if it's like a $5-10 game, I'd be like, okay.
Impulse buys, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to bitch about a $1 refund, then get out of here.
Like summer sale is coming, and it'll be like, oh, I bought
this
that's
for
like
another
$1.
Thing too. I guess you can also, like I said, for any reason, but like say you buy the game and then the sale goes on the next day or something, you can still refund the game and then...
That's actually pretty rad with the summer sale coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
whoops, I didn't want to spend that $5.
I just spent $50 when I could have only spent $10.
Yeah. And then the Steam box. Now I don't know too much about it. Don't kill me, Steve.
No, I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot to know.
Okay.
The Steam box. That's the same thing where it's they kind of outsourced it to other manufacturers.
Yeah.
Is it just a plug-and-play machine and here's your Steam games, pretty much? Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of the machines have been really underwhelming. Like, if you're
spec-wise?
Spec to price ratio. Like, it would almost be more worthwhile just to buy kind of a low-end pre-made PC.
Yeah.
And the Steam OS is free, so you can just load that on.
But you get the nifty controller.
That's true. You get
yay!
You get Valve's
the stickless controller.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did hear about that.
Yeah, the weird trackpad controller.
Yeah,
that's
trackpad coming back.
The future.
Bringing it back. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's not necessarily aimed for people like us though. I think it's aimed at people who want to get into PC gaming and don't know really where to start.
Actually, one thing I saw about it, which made a lot of sense to me, to YouTuber, one thing Total Biscuit said about it was that they have kind of a leasing program sort of thing associated with most of these, so you could pay like, $30 a month for 3 years.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I don't think any of the prices were quite that low, but you could basically lease the Steam box, and for that kind of a thing, it makes sense because you could get a mid-range PC that's good for that amount of time, and then just return it and get another one. And if that makes enough sense, if you're really bad at saving money, otherwise,
don't look at me like that, Steve.
Well, anything like
there's not a lot to look at.
Leasing or like renting to own, you always end up paying like 3 to 4 times more than you normally would.
Yeah, and just buying like a mid-range PC. Like, you could pay for the upgrades once a year, and you're still going to be paying much less.
But at the same time, a lot of people don't know that. Like, the people that are entry level
Yeah.
trying to get in. They don't know that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. If you have disposable income, it's okay. But my recommendation would be just buy a mid-range PC from like iBuyPower or CyberPower.
Well, I think another thing too
Alienware.
is this also brings the computer into the living room.
Yeah.
You can play it in the living room on your TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too. Is they kind of want to branch out. They kind of want to touch on the console market a bit.
I don't know. Just a lot of them. Some of the specs were just too underwhelming for what I was seeing. Like they were charging like $1,200 for a PC that had like an i3 in it.
Oh wow.
Oof.
That was one of the stupid companies. Like
those idiots don't know any better.
Some of the ones I've seen from like CyberPower have been really reasonable. Like you'll see i3s for like $400 or whatever, but
no.
This whole initiative has been weird. Like everybody assumed that initially that Valve was going to be like basically paying these companies to do it at a loss so that the boxes would be cheaper and then Steam would make its money back by selling games, which is how Steam makes money. And it ended up not being that.
You know how Steam would make money? Half-Life 3. Anyway.
I mean,
honestly, they could do nothing, including like taking care of their service at all for the next several years and still be making money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's it's not a bad idea, especially for entry level people. But I don't know. I wouldn't get one for myself.
Now, how long has this been in development? Like
years.
Like
years.
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're saying it's supposed to be coming out here in November, just in time for the holidays.
Just in time.
That's
Just in
such
time.
awful timing. Like,
How so? I mean, that's usually the marketing tactic for a lot of like new release. I mean, games generally, but how is that not very good in your eyes? I guess.
because it's a console. If they were releasing it in October or September, people would be able to buy it, and then they would want to buy the new games that are coming out in November for their Steam box.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they're coming out at the same time as those games, suddenly that $400 console or however much you're paying for it goes up by another 60 or 120.
At the same time, though, like when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, there was like 6 to 10 games available for each. This is going to have thousands of games available at launch.
That's true, but as you kind of brought up earlier, these are going to be for like the entry level PC gamers, and they probably don't know how Steam works.
That's
true. Well, yeah.
I'm still learning, to be honest. I mean, I'm fairly new to Steam anyway.
That's why mom and dad, when you buy it for your kid, just get them a bunch of Steam cards.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what this is for.
It's all to sell Steam cards.
This is for mommy and daddy gamer, whose baby is finally grown up.
Hey.
And it's time to get them their very first PC, but they're too dumb for the good stuff, so you give them a Steam machine. Here you go, 6-year-old little...
If you're buying a Steam machine for a 6-year-old...
Hey,
you're the same kind of person who...
We've seen it happen.
Bro, there are some fantastic tower defense games that I'm sure...
Oh, no, I was thinking
along
along the lines of expensive hardware for, tiny
children
tots.
who don't need them.
Exactly. My 4-year-old
But that is a
needs
discussion
this.
for another time.
Yeah, I think we've discussed it a few times. But, could happen.
I don't know. Meh.
So, Steve, XCOM 2 was announced.
Oh my god, this game.
Now, I haven't played XCOM, so can you, tell us a little bit about that?
It's a turn-based strategy game, so think, like, Final Fantasy Tactics, or actually really more like...
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem.
In the way that, your characters are permadead.
Yeah, and Valkyria Chronicles would probably be a good comparison because there's range-based attack. Everything is...
Yeah, it's more to it than just, point and click.
Yeah. Everything's very, very RNGesus related because, you'll have, a 20% attack angle, but if you move over, 3 hexes, you've got the flanking shot, so you get a bonus 50% attack.
Good stuff.
Basically, humanity versus alien invasion. First month or two, you're effed because the aliens have advanced technology and they can kill you in one hit.
Oh
and
boy.
They're very scary. And your raw recruits have like the worst hit chance ever. And Orange Jesus hates you because you are not worthy. And then like as time goes on, you reverse engineer alien technologies, make upgrades.
All that research.
The expansion brought in like genetic and cybernetic modifications, and now XCOM 2 is a thing, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, I guess story-wise, it's been like 20 years. The aliens won, and like Earth is being run by this new world order, run by aliens and stuff, and you're like this old ragtag XCOM group trying to get back.
Yeah, the trailer kind of messed with me a little bit because it starts out kind of like dystopian, but not like all hope is lost kind of thing, and like everybody's just sort of moving through the city, and there are checkpoints, and like there's definitely something heinous going on, but you don't quite know what it is. And then you see the XCOM squad like moving into the city, and you're like, wait, what's happening?
Honestly, I felt like the XCOM guys, like, I know they're the good guys, supposedly, but they felt like the terrorists in this trailer. Like, they felt bad.
Yeah, like, even down to, like, the way they were dressed, they had, rather than, like, sort of official-looking military stuff, it was more like the characters in,
It was Piecemeal.
God, what's the new... It's a Red Dawn video game from, like, way back in the day. Not the one that came out while we were all working at that company.
Red Dawn or Ready at Dawn?
Like Red Dawn style. You play the plumber that has to, like...
Mario?
No.
There was definitely some Mario and Luigi stuff going on there, because you got, like, the...
But you're not thinking of Homefront, are you?
No, not Homefront. It
so
was
like
before
Red Dawn.
Homefront.
Describe it. Describe some of the games.
Well, he said it's like Red Dawn.
Yeah, kind of Red Dawn.
What style of gameplay is it?
You and your brother are plumbers, and then, like, the Russians attack, and...
Red Faction?
No. Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters.
Oh,
okay.
That game was bad.
Okay.
So they had the kind of Freedom Fighters aesthetic going on, where like
piecemeal, like you just put together whatever you find and make
like,
use of it.
They were getting their equipment where they could.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it felt very weird, but at the same time, I want to play it.
I want to see gameplay. I really want to see gameplay, which I'm sure we'll see at E3. But the trailer was pretty interesting, and I'm definitely interested.
I do kind of get why they went with a cinematic instead of gameplay, because it is a turn-based strategy game, so gameplay for most people is going to be but it's actually amazing.
Well, that sounds interesting. I might actually want to check that out.
I think you can get the first game on Steam for $20 with the expansion, 20 or 30.
Okay.
But then there's also an Android version for $10. Graphics stepped way down, but everything else works great.
Yeah. Okay.
Although your tablet will overheat very quickly. I play it on a Tab Pro, and it did not survive long.
No.